You can call me Mystic Mike because I predict these things.
Timmy Cuamba takes on Roberto Romero this Saturday at UFC Fight Night Kansas City. And this is a competitive matchup between these two guys. Very young fighters looking to get their first wins in the UFC. Timmy Cuamba made his UFC debut back in February of last year. Lost that by split decision to Balaji Oki. Then took kind of a beating against Lucas Almeida last June. So 0-2 in the UFC. Did get a unanimous decision win in Dana White's Contender Series to allow him to then fight on Tough Enough, where he got a finish, which got him his UFC contract. Roberto Romero lost his UFC debut against David Onama. Yeah, he took that fight on 4 days' notice against David Onama, who I think is very good, very high level, and he had a really good showing of himself in that fight. Great low kicks, very strong low kicks, body kicks, pushes forward very well, was in Onama's face from the get-go, checking his kicks, blasting him with his own, dropped him in round one, was looking really good. I picked Onama in that fight just because I know how good he is. And I was like, he's fighting a dude who's never fought in the UFC on short notice. He's probably going to run through this guy, and that was not the case. Fighting for his life in that first round against a guy who, in Roberto Romero, who, very under the radar, was 8-3 at the time, now 8-4 with a loss, but had a very good showing of himself. If he can perform that way on 4 days' notice in his UFC debut against somebody as good as David Onama, then I think the sky's the limit for this guy. And I definitely think it makes him, I definitely think he's better than Timmy Cuamba, just in terms of his just tenacity and physicality and presence in the cage, willing to take one to give one. Really good head movement, good defense, just all around very sound fighter. He did kind of gas against Onama, but again, can't really hold that against him just because he took it on short notice, and Onama's very good. So does have 4 losses outside of Onama. He lost to Patrick Lahaney back in December 2023, but before that he had 2 losses back in 2019. So again, very young in his career. He's 25 years old. I believe Timmy Cuamba's 26. They're both about 5'8", 5'9", 70, 71 inch reach. So going to be a pretty close in terms of frame, but I do feel like Roberto Romero is going to be the bigger guy. He just seems like he's a little thicker. Timmy Cuamba, good fighter. He's got good boxing, fast hands. Had a competitive fight with Balaji Oki, but his last fight against Lucas Almeida, he was getting hurt bad. And again, showed a lot of grittiness and toughness, but that's not exactly the attributes and things that you want me to be talking about when I'm making a prediction video about you. Just never really got a lot of success going in that fight. Got dropped a few times, got a few takedowns here and there in the fight, but was just never really in it, And it's hard for me to pick him after that fight, especially it was back in June. He took a lot of damage, still doesn't have a win in the UFC, not a lot of momentum, backs against the wall on this one. He loses this, he might get cut, whereas Roberto Romero, he lost, but he took it on 4 days notice and had a hell of a showing, had a really good showing of himself in that fight, had a lot of success. And just in terms of style and technique, he just seemed like the more ferocious fighter. Like, he's in there to lay hands on you, walk forward, take one, and look to put your lights out. Whereas Timmy Cuamba is more of a, I don't want to say timid, but he likes to use his movement, move around on the back foot, pick his shots. Whereas Romero, he's just wanting to get in there and get after you. And I feel like that's the type of mindset and style that's going to be able to break and really wear on something like Timmy Cuamba, who's going to be low on confidence in there, unsure of his chin. The stakes are super high in this one. I just got to go with Roberto Romero in this one, and I think the odds are pretty close. Yeah, Timmy Cuamba's plus 100, Roberto Romero minus 120, so pretty much a pick'em fight. But Roberto Romero, he took a little damage in his last fight, but not a ton, and fought back in November versus Timmy Cuamba, who hasn't fought since June. So I'm gonna go with Roberto Romero. Just had the better performance last time. I feel like his ceiling's much higher. I feel like his finishing potential is much greater than Timmy Cuamba too. So I think he'll get the knockout in this one. If not the knockout, he'll get the decision. Thanks.